basketball fans, and welcome to a very packed Merrimack High School Gymnasium, the H. Dana Taylor Gymnasium, for Division I quarterfinal. Number 3 Merrimack, the Tomahawks, hosting the number 3 Warriors of Winnacunnet High School out of Hampton. My name's Pete Terrier, along with our videographer John Kesty. It is our neighborhood fundraising game of the week. Winner of this one moving on to UNH on Monday night. The D1 semifinals. Should be a fantastic basketball game. Eric Jenren, the star from Merrimack, going up against that dynamic duo backcourt for Winnacunnet. Sam Nomeyer and Richie Ruffin will have all the highlights, the post-game reaction with the player and coach interviews right here. Merrimack Winnacunnet on nhsportspage.com. Shot at the Final Four at UNH in Durham on the line. Pete Terrier along with John Kesty on the video camera tonight. What an atmosphere inside the H. Dana Taylor Gymnasium at Merrimack High School. That Merrimack student section behind the basket, dressed in all black, the blackout. And then you got Winnacunnet, the student body, making the trip across 101. In Mickey Gasper, 34 in the backcourt, passed by Franzen, picked off. Here comes Nomeyer to the basket. And Winnacunnet strikes early with a defense to offense conversion. It's 2-0. Edwards missed it, and Jenren came down with it. Edwards should have converted there. Here's Gasper for 3, left side, and Gasper gets Merrimack a lead, 5-4. If he wants it with 9 seconds. Jenren dribbles right. Watch out for the pull-up 3. Jenren, his pull-up from mid-range, and he swishes it, and it's 13-5 Merrimack at the end of one. Getting scary for Winnacunnet. Don't want to have to rally back from a big deficit against these guys at home. Jenren with the steal. To the basket with the power jam. Timeout Winnacunnet. Gasper getting it poked away. Now to Bork underneath. Jenren catch and score. The basket counts in the foul. Jay McKenna. Deep right wing guarded by Nomeyer. Richardson. Bounce pass in the lane. Bork sweeping move. Hook shot. Tipped up and in. Richardson. On the baseline. Back in the corner to Michaud. Michaud to Ruffin. His corner 3. And it's swish. Ruffin connects with his first field goal of the game. It's a 3-pointer. Franzen driving the lane. Underneath Bork. Strong. And one. Foul by Edwards. 3 on him. Contact. No whistle. Winnacunnet comes up with it. Here's Ruffin. Swings a pass. And then blocked out of bounds. Good catch by Whip. But somebody rejected it out of bounds. Perhaps it was Jenren. Not the shot they wanted. Rebound to the air ball. Ruffin. Outlets. McLeod for 3. Banks it in. He called glass, I'm sure. And it's 29-17. 8 seconds. Here's Jenren. Jenren, shake and bake. Contact, no whistle. Here's Bork for 3. Knocks it down. Shane Bork drains the 3 at the buzzer. And Merrimack leads by 15 at the break. 32-17. In the second half. Nomeyer's 3 is no good. Bork the rebound. Quick outlet, Franzen. Franzen pull-up jumper. 17-footer. And he knocks it home. Bork trying to throw it to Franzen, picked off by Ruffin. Ruffin taking it back the other way to the hole against Burke. Soft move. And Ruffin with back-to-back 3s. Here comes Jenren the other way, lays it in. So once Winnacunnet gets a little momentum, Jenren makes it. Primavera dribbles it to the right, gets it to Ruffin. Ruffin long 3, right side. Good! Richie Ruffin has a 7-point third quarter going. He's got 10 in the game. Now Ruffin back to Primavera. Bounce pass, left side, Nomeyer's 3. High archer goes. Sam Nomeyer has this to a 10-point team. Winnacunnet can now get it within single digits. Nomeyer into the lane, a lot of contact, throws it up. Baker goes. Surprised they didn't call anything, but another rebound. Winnacunnet. Outlet. Charges. He lowered the shoulder for sure on Bolio. And Bolio doing a nice job being brave. Ruffin in the lane. Figure roll! What a move, Richie Ruffin. in the lead back to 6, 50 to 44. Can get this down even closer. Primavera on the drive, banks it, gets the bounce. Full-point game, 50 to 46. Game, minute and a half to play. Nomeyer for three. Short. Rebound Primavera. Here's Boucher for three, and he swishes. 3-point game, 54 to 51. Minute 15 left to play. Now, Merrimack wins it. They're moving on. Winnacunnet's season is over. Coach Tim Goodrich here, his team going back to the Final Four at UNH. It's always a goal at the beginning of the season. A tough one tonight against Winnacunnet, 61-55, but you obviously have reached your initial goal, and that's to get to Durham, and let's see what happens when you get there.
That's exactly what we said from day one when we walked in here, is we wanted to get to Durham and see what happens, and a lot of credit to our team tonight. They really battled, and even when things were looking bleak, when Winnacunnet was put on a heck of a swing there, that we would be able to keep our composure and hit some free throws down in the end and be able to hold on. And I thought Winnacunnet's comeback was incredible, and it was, they had all the momentum, but those seniors and those kids just, and Franzen made some huge free throws, and we hung in there, and it's a credit to all those kids how they played tonight.
I think obviously in the first half especially, your two big guys, Shane Bork and Eric Gendron, combining for 24 points of your 32 at the half. It looked like that was going to be a problem for them. I think they adjusted in the second half, and then they made their run. But those guys were certainly very, very good for you tonight. Eric had 24, Shane had 16, and when you need a bucket, you can go to those guys.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I thought the first half they were in foul trouble, and we did a really nice job of getting the ball inside and making them pay for it, more or less, either get good shots or get to the free throw line, and we were really controlling the game at that point. And then the second half, they're kids, we talked about this at halftime. We need to continue to pound the ball inside. We don't need to come out and jack stuff out. And they're kids, so what do? They come and they start jacking stuff outside. We start missing long rebounds. They start running down our throat. Then we got to go back to executing, and it's not as easy as turning on a light, so we had to struggle a little bit. But, that Winnacunnet team is a really good basketball team, and so this is a huge win for our program.
Coach, you guys have played well when Eric's been in foul trouble. I mean, he's fouled out of some games this year. He's had some foul trouble. You've had to sit him. And it seems like your team doesn't fall apart when he goes down. They seem to rise to the occasion. And he fouled out with like a minute or so left tonight, and those guys still kept it together. They don't seem to panic without him.
Well, that's the seniors. We have 5 seniors, and Mike Conlon comes in and takes his place, and he's confident in his ability, and but we certainly aren't going to win the next 2 games without Eric Gendron. Let's not kid ourselves. But the kids are really close together, and they play as a team. And I thought they responded really well without Eric tonight. I mean, a lot of teams might have just packed in their tent right there, but you're right. They really rally around each other and do what they need to do.
So let's talk about the next game, which is Monday night, Lundholm Gym. Trinity Pioneers, the defending champs, the number 2 seed. You played them tough at their gym a couple of weeks ago. Let's talk about that game.
Well, the last time we played them was a heck of a game, and I thought we really battled with them really well. And we're just happy to have the opportunity to get another crack at them. Like you said, they are defending champs. They've lost 2 games in 2 years. You keep hearing about, like you said, Bedford's won 11 in a row. That's great, but Trinity's lost 2 basketball games in 2 years. So we got our hands full, So we're gonna, go back to work tomorrow. And like I told these kids, now that we got to Durham, let's try to make some noise. Let's just not make this like, okay, we got there and go up there and pitch a tent. We're gonna give Trinity a basketball game, and we're going to compete no matter what. That's our goal.
And a heck of an atmosphere here tonight at Merrimack. I mean, your fans are great.
Thank you.
I would not want to be an opposing player trying to hit a tough free throw shooting into that crowd, but I'm sure you'll have the whole town of Merrimack out there in Durham.
I'd like to be playing here again. We're 11-0 on the season. Bring Trinity in here for this game. We'll call it even. We want to save all the money, and all the money they got to play at UNH. Why don't we just play it right here?
I'll call Coach Keefe and see what he thinks.
That's fine. That'd be great.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for everything.
Merrimack Tomahawks, after their 61-54 quarterfinal win over the Winnacunnet Warriors, they're moving on to the Final Four. They will take on the Trinity Pioneers, the defending champs. We got Shane Bork over here, Eric Gendron, and Austin Franzen. And I'll start with you, Eric. Another big game for you, 24 points. you and this guy really were integral in that first half when you guys took control of this game. You had 24 points out of your team's 32. It seemed like they couldn't stop either one of you in the early going, but you knew that those guys were going to make a run.
Oh yeah, no, they're a terrific team, and you can never count them out. I mean, we knew going into halftime, and we had a fairly decent lead, and we knew they were going to come back, and we knew they were going to come out in the second half strong, and they did, and we were able to fight them off for a while.
And Shane, you've got some skills. I mean, you can step away from the basket, hit the long shot. Seen you hit some threes this year. But when you make your mind up to go down low and against a smaller team like those guys, you really were able to score and do some things that they just couldn't stop. And obviously that was a point of emphasis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Coach was telling us all game to get inside. We just had a bigger team than them, and some of our outside shots were falling, some weren't. So, when we could get it inside, we knew we could take the game over, and that's what we tried to do.
Austin, let's talk about you, and you've just improved so much over the last couple of years and have stepped up, and you stepped up again, especially at the free throw line. You hit 5 of 6 free throws in the fourth quarter, some real clutch ones at the end to make it a 2-possession game. When you're playing with these guys, you don't have to be the man, so it's nice to be that third option and be able to step up. He was fouled out of the game. It seems like you guys always seem to step up when he's in foul trouble, so that's good that you guys can play without your star player.
Yeah, I mean, Eric's key to our offense, but we have a bunch of guys who can play, and when it comes down to winning, we always find a way to win.
Eric, let's ask you about this Trinity matchup. A couple weeks ago, you played them. You were in foul trouble a lot of that game. You guys were right there with them. Central, obviously, another tough team. They're undefeated right now, but you guys have been right there with them. Can you go to UNH, knock off the Trinity Pioneers? I think you got a little help with no Ryan Otis. You're not going to have to worry about him. He got suspended. Unfortunately, he won't be playing in that game. But your thoughts against Carmen and Wenyan and playing that Trinity Pioneer team?
Trinity's always been a top team, and they've always been a tough team to beat. And we're just going to do our homework this weekend, and we're going to come Monday ready to play. And
Shane, that's a challenge for you too, because Wenyan is really, really coming into his own as a player and stepping up. He looks like his older brother Mabor, and Carmen's a tough customer as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Wendy's a big kid, so is G, and I know with Wendy, I just need to get big with him and try to force him away from the basket and just not let him penetrate. And same with G. I mean, I think Eric's going to be the one to have to lock him down, but if we just stay in front of him and don't let him get to the basket, I think we'll be all right.
Austin, what do you think what kind of crowd are you guys going to bring out there on Monday to UNH? I mean, this place is always jumping, but should be a lot of fun out there at UNH.
I mean, we have the best student section in the state, so we'll have a big crowd.
All right, Merrimack moving on to the Final Four, going against Trinity. The other semifinal, Manchester Central against Manchester Memorial, knocking off Londonderry tonight. So 3 Queen City teams, and then Merrimack in the Final Four on Monday. Guys, thanks. Jay McKenna here from Winnacunnet. His team, tough way to end the season, 61-55. You guys fell behind 15, 16 points there in the third quarter. It looked like it was going to be over. But your team, credit to them, made it a 2-point game at one point and really had a chance to win at the end. So did you guys run out of gas? Is that what it was?
I don't know. I think that we dug ourselves into a pretty deep hole in that first half, and they're a great team. They're a great team. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and when we made mistakes, they capitalized on it. So all the credit in the world to that team, and I thought my guys played as hard as they possibly could in the second half and did a lot of really good things. Just came up short against a very good team.
I thought, 2 of your guys, especially Sam Nomar, stepped it up big time in that third quarter. Sam had 14 points in the quarter. Richie actually got you guys going with 7 quick ones, and that kind of gave you a little bit of hope. And then that whole fourth quarter, you guys were right there. Just when you had an opportunity for a big shot, it just didn't seem to go down. I know Primavera missed one, and Dunn missed a couple here and there, but if you could have just made that one shot to make you take that step forward, might be talking differently now.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to make a lot of good plays in that third quarter, and we kind of went on a cold streak in the fourth. We were able to get right there, but unable to get over the hump, so to speak. But I think that a testament to those 2 guys, to Richie and Sam. They've had an unbelievable career. Winnacunnet, unbelievable senior year, and I couldn't be more proud of 2 guys that have played for me. I mean, just unbelievable for everything they put into our program. So.
And that's tough saying goodbye to those guys, especially guys that were like 4-year guys.
Oh, absolutely. There was a lot of tears upstairs just now, and those guys mean the whole senior class. There's 9 of them. They mean an awful lot to us, to me as a coach and our coaching staff and our whole program, everything they put into it. But those 2 guys as captains, their leadership's been tremendous over the years, and you know, it's tough. It's a tough night for us.
All right, rapid reaction here. Put your analyst hat on. What are your thoughts on the Final Four? I don't even know if you know what happened elsewhere, but it's going to be Merrimack taking on Trinity. Trinity survives against Bedford, win by 5. Central controlled Exeter for the most part, didn't blow them out. They won. They're going to play at Manchester Memorial. So your thoughts on the Final Four?
I think, you know, 4 very talented teams. I think Central's, you know, on a heck of a run. They have to be the team to beat. But I think, you know, Merrimack can give them a good run. I think Trinity's very talented. So I don't know. I enjoying going up and watching them and seeing what transpires. So.
All right, Coach. Well, we really appreciate the time as always, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.